So today, we're going to journey into the incredible and deeply interconnected culture of the Mithila region. This is a place where art, food, and faith are all woven together into one single beautiful story. And right away, you can see what I mean. Just look at this. This is Madhubani painting, the region's most famous art form. It is an absolute explosion of color and intricate detail, where literally every single line tells a story. And that gets you thinking, right? What if a culture didn't just write its history in books? What if they painted their entire worldview, their beliefs, their rituals, their hopes, directly onto the walls of their homes? Well, to answer that, we have to go to Mithila, a historic region that spans parts of India and Nepal. For centuries, it has been the cradle of this incredibly unique and powerful cultural heritage. Now, the art itself is known as Madhubani, or Mithila painting. And for generations, it was created almost exclusively by women. And not on paper or canvas, but as these breathtaking murals on the inside and outside of their homes to mark special rituals and festivals. Okay, so let's dive even deeper into one very specific and honestly incredibly significant kind of Madhubani art that is right at the heart of Maithil life, the art of marriage. This is the Kohabar, and it is so much more than just decoration. You can think of it like a painted prayer, a visual blessing made right inside the wedding chamber to wish the new couple fertility, prosperity, and a long, happy life together. And believe me, this is not a passive backdrop. The sources describe it as this totally immersive, sacred environment. The newlyweds actually live inside this painted room for at least 4 days, completely surrounded by these powerful, symbolic images at the very start of their new life. And you have to understand, this art is deeply rooted in human ritual. What you're looking at here is the Pasakin ritual, which is a wedding ceremony where the women of the family all come together. It's just a powerful reminder that these paintings aren't created in a vacuum. They are part of a living, breathing tradition that's passed from one generation to the next. But here's the thing. As beautiful as they are, these paintings are so much more. They're actually a complex visual language, just packed with powerful symbols. So let's start decoding them. And one of the most important symbols you'll see pretty much everywhere is the fish. I mean, it swims through nearly every single aspect of Maithil culture. So why the fish? Well, it's this incredibly powerful symbol of fertility and prosperity. Geographically, it represents the abundance you find in the region's many ponds, but it's also fundamental to life itself. It's a staple food, and it's part of rituals from birth all the way to death. It really is a symbol of life. All right, let's look at another huge symbol here, the lotus. It often shows up with the same kind of prominence as the fish, and its meaning really complements it. Sure, the lotus stands for purity and good fortune, but it goes way deeper than that. It's connected to female sexuality, and maybe a little more poetically, it represents the ability to bloom with vibrant color and strength, even when you're rooted in the muddy waters of hardship. And what's so cool is how this creates this beautiful sense of balance within the art. Just as the lotus often represents women and their resilience, you have bamboo, which is used to symbolically represent men, their lineage, their growth, and their perseverance. Together, they paint this amazing portrait of a balanced, complete partnership. So you see what's happening, right? All these different symbols get woven together to create this rich tapestry of blessings. You've got peacocks for love and romance, parrots as lovebirds, the sun and moon for a long, divinely watched life, and even the tortoise for the endurance and longevity of the marriage itself. This whole intricate world of symbols, it gives us a really clear picture of Maithil values. It shows us that these symbols aren't just abstract ideas, they're rooted in the real, tangible parts of life. And since that fish represents so much abundance, you kind of have to wonder, what does that abundance actually taste like? Well, that very question takes us right from the canvas and into the kitchen to explore how the exact same values we see in the art are reflected in the region's traditional food. So the staples are rice, lentils, and flatbreads, often cooked in mustard oil. But just like in the art, the fish is totally central to the cuisine. The key dish is mach bhat, which is a fish curry with rice. In fact, fish is so important here that Maithil Brahmins are actually one of the very few Brahmin communities in India that are traditionally non-vegetarian. And, this incredible connection between art and life doesn't just stop with food. Now let's see how themes of love, separation, and resilience find their expression in the movements and festivals of Mithila.
Let me tell you about the Jot Jotin dance. It's this traditional duet performed during the monsoon, and it tells a really human story. A husband is getting ready to leave home for work, and his wife's movements express the sorrow of their impending separation. But it's not just a sad story. The dance ultimately celebrates her resilience and their hope for reunion. It's so powerful, it's even performed during droughts to ask the rain god for relief.
And hey, remember those divine symbols from the wedding paintings? The sun and the moon? Well, they aren't just pretty pictures, they're worshipped as gods. The biggest festival, Chhat Puja, is dedicated entirely to Surya, the sun god. And other festivals like Chaurchan honor the moon, while Durga and Kali Puja celebrate that same divine feminine power we saw represented by the lotus. So, when you pull all these threads together, the art, the symbols, the food, the dance, the festivals, you really start to see the bigger picture. And that is really the heart of it all. In Mithila, art isn't just something you hang on a wall and look at. It is completely fused with daily life. It's in the flavor of the food, it's in the rhythm of the dance, and it's in the heart of devotion. It is one single, vibrant, and unbroken cultural tapestry. Which leaves us with one last really important thought. This art is a living document, a story that's been told and retold by generations. So in a world that's changing so fast, you have to ask, how do we make sure these living campuses and the incredible cultures they represent never, ever fade?